Hello folks, this is Harley and I'm here to walk you through the process of creating a new patient record in LibreHealth EHR. I'm using a Linux PC for these demos, so some of the screen objects may look a little different from what you'd see in a Windows install of Libre, but they work the same. Creating a new patient is a straightforward process in its general steps, but the specific data entered will depend on your facility requirements. The high-level summary is, first, the new patient's minimum required identifiers are entered, then the patient's record is created. Once the record exists, additional demographics and historical data can be added at a later time. Now, in this demo, I'm going to show the steps to add all the demographic and historical data at once, including uploading scanned documents like an ID card or externally produced clinical information such as lab reports. I'm logging in as our front desk staff, Walter O'Reilly. Okay. He's usually the one who does this because he's sitting at the desk when a new patient comes in. However, most any staff has access permissions to do this. Our new patient sits down. Walter opens the patient client, add new menu item, gets rid of this other tab so we can see what we're doing, obtains the patient's ID card and whatever other paperwork the patient may have brought in. The text boxes on most of the EHR's forms have tooltips for whatever extra information is to put in here. First name, middle name, okay. How do you do, Mr. Andrew Aronson? The required values for a new patient are these red items. The name, sex, let's fill that over here, and date of birth. If your facility needs other defaults, they will appear in red text. Now, the date of birth and most other dates in the EHR are entered by a calculator widget that works like this. You can scroll to the year that you want. Okay, let's see this. Okay, advance the month or pull it back, and of course select the date. Okay, enter any more of this information that you have or that you must enter. We can close this and open the next group. Move to the next group of information, his contacts, add any information. The next group is privacy. Many of the items in this and the following groups are HIPAA required data if HIPAA is important to you. Privacy, okay, employer. Now, you're probably going to have these drop downs customized because, as you see, these items that are already on here they're not like universally applicable. Social statistics, more HIPAA information. Okay, in the insurance group, you fill out all the information for the patient's primary insurer. Let's move this up here so we can see it, if they have it. These insurance drop-downs are populated by the list of insurance companies that the facility does business with, and those are entered during the facility setup. These text labels are red and therefore required, but only if you've indicated the patient has insurance. If there's no insurance, they will not trigger an alert for required data. However, if you put any information in any of the insurances, you need to fill out all the red fields for that policy. Okay, and the system accepts primary insurance, secondary provider, tertiary insurance. And down here at the bottom, create new patient. It checks for duplicates already, and it says here no matches were found. Click Confirm Create New Patient. And you have your new patient record. At this point, the only widget in the record that should contain any information is the demographics. And you see these tabs here corresponding to the data groupings where we entered patient information or left a blank, as you see. And now that you have a patient record to put it in, anytime you receive outside patient information, you can scan it into your PC and upload it to the EHR. In the patient summary screen, you would do that by clicking on Documents and select from the list of document types. Now let's zoom in here a little bit so we can see what we're looking at. Of course, this list of document categories can be adjusted by an administrator to the categories that your facility needs. Let's say I scanned Andy's ID card just now. Now these document uploads all work the same way. Click on the category link, and in the dialog you select Browse, and you go locate the patient's picture. That would be Andy Aronson. The other one wasn't Andy. Okay. And you upload it. This download document template thing applies to the fetch button, not to the upload. Okay. Upload. You get this report for the upload information. Click on the patient name to return to the summary, and there's his ID. That is how a patient's demographics and external documents are incorporated into their record. Now let's look at the other items on the patient summary screen, where we'll be entering the remaining historical data. The links under the patient name have a couple more items relevant to this workflow. Documents we saw when we uploaded the scanned ID card. The history link covers such things as family history and lifestyle information. And the issues link opens the screen for the patient's medical history, such as allergies, surgeries, medication issues, and like that. I need to point out that Libre's default access control permissions for the front desk user group do not normally permit them access to the history or the issues screens. So that is reserved for the clinicians and the providers. If your house policy is different, a Libre administrator can add the medical history permission to any user group. So we've logged in as Tom Jared, our clinician, to finish adding the historical information. Let's start with the history link. Click on the history link, and you see the tabs of the different types of historical information that can be collected here. Now please note that the contents of all these history screens and tabs can be very easily customized by an administrator in the Layouts module. But this is what is present by default. Okay, under the General, this is a quick list. Okay, of course, to add information you have to click Edit. How's that? Edit. Under General, this is a quick list of the conditions the patient may have now or have had in their background, with the tests that they've taken and a free text area for notes. Under Family History, you enter problems of the different family members with diagnosis codes if available. Let's just say diabetes, and this is the standard way of looking up codes here. Under the code, you get the code search widget, enter a partial code indicator or free text. You search, and we get the code for this condition. Relatives is the extended family, and you would simply put in which family member has which condition. Lifestyle. For tobacco, for example, you enter what form, G, okay, let's enter the frequency and the status of the lifestyle factor if it's current. If they've quit, you enter, this is free text, enter the cessation date, or if they never smoked or whatever, and fill out these other factors that may be in effect. And then when you're done, well, here, let's look at other. This is a fairly generic screen. It's a good one to customize for other purposes. You can just use it for any lifestyle factor that's not mentioned elsewhere. Okay, so now when you're done, you click on Save and then click their name to get back to the summary screen, where we see these headings in the right column. Or if it's a narrow display, they'll be listed on down below here. Now these are individually accessed by their Edit button or from the Issues screen. You see we've got a couple already entered here. Now Tom proceeds to enter a medical problem. Click on Add. The issue entry panel opens. Some are pre-entered, which you can click on it, or you can manually type the problem title. If any active issue codes have been entered already, which the one before this was diabetes, it shows up in the active issue code. If you need a code for this particular problem, you click in Codes, and you type in a partial text, search on it, select the code, set the begin date with the regular calendar widget. If it's a current issue, leave the end date empty. Set the occurrence, severity, mild to moderate. This reaction is more appropriate for allergies. Referred by would be enter any referring physician or practice. Comments is free text. Outcome is if it's resolved. If it's not resolved, don't select an outcome. Destination is if they've been sent to secondary care specialist, etc. Click Save. Each issue's entry panel has a similar layout. The only difference is the type, the pre-entered list of error will be different on the different types of problems. And again, depending on what's been entered, this active issue codes will keep showing the current active issues here. But other than that, all the rest of these are done in the same way. And with medications, listing them as an issue means that the medication itself is a treatment issue, not that these are current medications. Medications are done in a different workflow. So let's take a look here. If an issue has been resolved, you come to the issue screen and you open the issue, select Outcome Resolved, enter a resolution date, and click Save, which shows you the active issues are in yellow and the resolved issues, the inactive issues, are shown in black. Return to the summary screen to see if the issues are displayed here. and that is a complete workflow of how to create a new patient record and enter their history. Thank you.